Boom, we're live. Hey, happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome aboard. I'm glad that you're here and that you're participating in my weekly live broadcast. Let me just do a quick, just real quick test. You in the chat, if you could right now, you can hear me and see me. If you could just let me know. I'm trying out a new microphone today, and I want to make sure that I can be heard. So you can just give me a quick little hit in the chat. If you're out there right now, just let me know if you can hear me. I know there's a couple of second delay between what I say and what you hear, but can you hear me? Let me just, I'll type that, I'll ask it. All right, be heard. I don't even have to type it and ask it. The authority on all things, Cicely Simpson says she can hear me. I'm going to trust that you can hear me. I'm trying out a new microphone today, and so I figured I'd try that. And hook it up. But you know how I roll. I don't like to test anything. I'd rather just kind of fly by the seat of my pants and hope that it works. I think sometimes things work better that way. A couple of questions came in. Oh, by the way, welcome aboard. If it's your first time here, I go live every Tuesday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern. I'm here. You can ask me anything about getting clients, about growing your business. You can ask me about what I eat. If you want, although you really don't want to know about that, I'm sure. I'm here for you to ask anything. And during the week, you can ask me questions by visiting chat.prouty.me. And if you visit chat.prouty.me, you can pop a question in there. That goes directly to me, and I get questions there all the time. Somebody asked me a question this week about, I have no idea. That is one question that my answer is going to be, I have no idea. I don't know anything about AM radio, and I'm trying to think of the last time I actually listened to commercial radio, like a radio station. I'm doing this because that's how long ago it was. You had to do this. Do you remember that, guys? You remember how you used to do this to find a radio station? That's how long it's been since I listened to commercial radio. Like the moment a portable MP3 device came out, I was done with commercial radio. So I'm trying to think, this is more than 20 years ago was the last time that I listened to any kind of radio. So I don't know if AM radio is if it's a good place to market on. Let's analyze this, and then we'll start talking about content, because I did get a lot of questions about content during the week. Let's analyze that for just one quick second. If we think about AM radio is going to broadcast out to a group of people who are centric to a geography. So AM radio might work if you're a local brick and mortar business and you want to hit people within a specific radius. That might work for you. AM radio, I'm going to guess, and I don't know this to be certain, but AM radio is probably going to hit an older demographic. I don't know what the demographic for people who listen to AM radio is. I really don't. It's going to hit an older demographic. So maybe AM radio is going to work for you. One of the problems with radio advertising, with advertising on a billboard, with advertising on TV or other media like that, is you can't segment your audience and you can't target a particular audience. It's all or nothing. So you're advertising to every single person that's out there through this media, and you might have a very small segment that you're trying to target. So that might not be the best use of your marketing dollars. If you came to me and you sat down and you said, I'm thinking about advertising on AM radio, those are the questions that I would ask you. Is it an older audience? Is it a local audience? Are you a brick and mortar store? Or are you something that services an older clientele within a specific geography? Then maybe it's a good idea. I'm willing to bet that AM radio is pretty cheap to advertise on. So if you're going to, if you're going to advertise on radio, I know I said I know nothing about radio. Maybe I know a little bit more than I let on. If you're going to advertise on radio, I would give it 3 months before you make any kind of decisions on whether or not it was a good idea to advertise on radio. But I don't know. And you have to track it using very specific, like using a special phone number or a specific URL that you're only using on that campaign. So that if you use a specialized phone number for that kind of campaign, every time that number rings, you know it came from a radio ad. And you other people who are not using, who are not thinking about radio, you can do that as well. You can use something like CallRail or there's one it's like CallFire or something like that, where you can get segmented phone numbers that you can use in ad campaigns to judge the effectiveness of a call-only campaign. And shoot, while we're speaking of call-only campaigns, a call-only campaign is a Google Ads campaign. This actually might be better than AM radio. It's a Google Ads campaign that only shows up on phones when somebody types in a very specific key phrase. So if I typed lawn maintenance in my phone, a Google ad for my geography could show up with a click to call, and it would call that number. That might be better. Might be a better use of your money. Hard to tell. And because we're here and it's kind of me talking to you, and then you can't really talk back to me. Sometimes this media is good for me to share high-level bits of information with you. But if you're serious about marketing campaigns, it might be wise to jump on my calendar. And you can do that by going to prouty.me. On my calendar, we can spend some time kind of just talking about the goals that you have for your marketing. And I can give you some ideas, and maybe there's an opportunity for me to be of service to you. So if you're serious about advertising, prouty.me, my last name.me will get you on my calendar. So welcome aboard. That was a very quick answer to that question that came in during the week. I did get a lot of questions over the last week or two about content creation and about how much content someone should be creating, what kind of content. Somebody else asked, what kind of content should I be creating for LinkedIn? So I kind of wanted to talk to you about content today and what you should be doing with content, especially now, because we're in a very interesting time when it comes to marketing, especially organic marketing online. Because of what's happened over the past couple of years, social media and online, your website, your blog, your blogging platforms, all of these things have become the level playing ground for entrepreneurs to market their businesses. And it used to be the case, 2018, 2019, that you could choose whether or not you were going to use content to market your business. It's just not that way anymore. You have to. It's a requirement to use content to market your business, because we were all locked down for a year, and that changed human behaviors and how people research and buy and consume and ultimately make decisions to purchase. Now, a lot of people that come to me and that work with me in my flagship program, Growth Galvanized, which is a private mastermind of entrepreneurs who are very interested in growing their businesses, and people in there do crazy things. Those people are professional service providers. They provide a professional service to their clients. We have a travel agent in there. We have a leadership mentor in there. We have an IP attorney in there. Those people are professional service providers, and they are in a position now where their content is truly differentiating them from all of their competition. And inside of that program, inside of that mastermind, we really do dig deep into the kind of content that they should be creating. And let's just go through that from a very high level right now. And so the overall question is, why should I be using content, and what kind of content should I be using? So let's answer those questions right now. And the number one reason you should be using content to market your business is very, very simple. It's to educate your consumer and to educate the people who have never had any exposure to you into what you do. And the reason that you want to do this, and listen to this very closely, you might want to get something to write this down with. The best way to demonstrate that you can help someone is to create content that actually helps them before you even enter into a position of trying to sell to them or be of service to them. So let me say that again. The best way for you to demonstrate that you can help someone is to help them through your content before you even try to enter into a service, into helping them through your service. A call coming in that I just shut down. And help them through your content before they even approach you for you to be of service to them, is because that's what's going to differentiate you from every other idiot that's out there pretending that they do what you do. And there's a lot of them. 60% of there's like a crazy number out there that there's like 60% of people that used to work aren't working anymore. I have no idea what these people are doing. I know that there's a small percentage of these people that are coming after me, and they're trying to do what I do. They can't, but they're trying to, and they're coming after you as well. Because what are they doing? They're no longer working at whatever dumb job they were working at. They quit. They were living off government, the government for a little while. I don't know. I didn't take any of that. I didn't take any of that government money, but I know a lot of people are taking that. I don't know if that might have come to an end by now. I know that a lot of these gig economy type services are starting to feel a lot of pressure. So their prices are going to go up because they don't have the number of people to provide the service. They've got some big issues. So we've got this weird environment right now where people are sitting around, they're just sitting at home. I don't know what they're doing, but a lot of them are hatching these harebrained ideas that they can do what you do, or they can do what I do. And how hard is it really to spin up a business page on Facebook or an Instagram account or a business page on LinkedIn? No one's checking to see if you've got the credentials to do this. And so then these people are going after your potential clients. And all they have to do is look the role. And they're going to steal away that business from you. So that's a pretty, I almost swore. I'm not going to swear because I know some of the people that are on here. I don't want to swear in front of them. But that's a suboptimal situation for you. If anyone can step forward and say, oh, I do that too. I see it think about me at all, but it's generally these people that dye their hair a crazy color, put a stupid brick wall flag, not a flag, a brick wall, whatever those backgrounds are behind them, and they sit there strumming a guitar telling you that they can market your business. And you know what? I don't know. They're fooling a lot of people because I'm sorry if that sounded, no, I'm not. I'm not apologizing for sounding judgmental. Sure, maybe I am, but maybe I'm not. So what's happening is people are coming to me and they're saying, I've been burned by these idiots. And they're going to come to you and they're going to say the same thing. I've been burned by these idiots who said they could get me this result and they ultimately never got me this result. And I spent a lot of money on these people. And that deteriorates your business, that deteriorates your market, that deteriorates your position. How do you turn that around? The only way to turn that around is through your content. Because the brick wall background, dyed hair, guitar strumming idiots can't create the content that you can create. Because they haven't done the job for as long as you've done it. So I've been doing this for 21 years. I can create content like this that demonstrates my ability. But your hang up is you don't want to give away all of your secret sauce. You've got to give away your secret sauce in your content if you're going to compete against the brick background, hair dyed, guitar strumming idiots who are pretending that they can do what you do. They take one class and then they think they can just go ahead and do it at scale. They can't. And that's what's killing your business and killing your market. The only way, the weakness in what you create to educate your potential customers, to show them, hear me when I say this, to show them that you're different and that you can get them the results. 73%, this is a Forbes study, 73% of consumers right now research through content the things, products, and services they should buy. Think about anything that you've bought recently that you spent money on, that you spent a good deal of money on. Think about anything that you've bought. You have researched it before you bought it. If it was a car, you went and watched videos on that car. If it was a service, you watched review videos on that service. When I bought, I have an espresso machine that I bought because I love to drink espresso. I watched hours and hours of videos on that machine before I bought it. So consumers right now are consuming content. Consumers, your consumers, are digesting content to learn about the products and services. The more content that you create that educates them, that helps them prior to them even contacting you, the better your chances are going to be to emerge as the sole source for the solutions that they're seeking. It feels like I'm yelling at you, but you've got to hear this. You've got to wake up, and you've got to grow up, and you've got to realize that educating and helping people before they actually exchange money with you is the fastest way to be seen as an authority and to be seen as someone who's different from all the idiots who are trying to pretend that they do what you do and who are stealing away those customers from you. Ooh, I get so fired up over this. Holy smoke. And if you think I'm fired up here in this very short amount of time that we have together, you should see what it's like when you work with me in my private consultancy or as an advisory client or in my private masterminds, which of course you can learn about by visiting prouty.me. That's my last name.me. And that gets you on a direct call with me where we can talk about those things, see if they're right for you. If they're right for you, great. If they're not right for you, great. You can go on your way and figure something else out. Doesn't matter to me. I just want to help anybody who wants to be helped. So where was I? So we were talking about content. We were talking about your ability to educate your audience before they even engage with you as the potential of working with you. If you can give someone a very small, a micro transformation through the content that you create, maybe that's an aha moment. Maybe that's some sort of a change or a shift or a pivot that they're able to make based on something that you did. My word, you are going to be in so much a better position than the amateurs who are imitating you and what you do. So that's the number one reason that you should be creating content. It allows you to educate your audience, and that is so unbelievably important right now. That's how you differentiate yourself. When you educate your audience, you also retain that audience. And by the way, I see a couple questions came in, some through my personal chat, and then another one came in here, which I'll answer in just a second. I'll answer that in just a second. Joyal, I promise you, I've got an answer for you on that, and I'm inspired by that question. So you are going to retain your audience in a much more profound way when you create really good content. So creating good content to retain an audience means you're creating content that writes about their needs, their desires, the future they wish to have. Good content is not about you. I'm sorry to tell you that. In fact, I'm not. You need to know that. Good content is not about you. Good content is about the desires, the future, the wishes, the solving of the problems that your clients have. That's good content. And when you create good content, you're going to retain your audience. They're going to keep coming back for more. And it's so very important that you're retaining that audience, because the more, I believe, get ready for this, 32 exposures over 3 weeks is the sales cycle right now. So a potential prospect needs to be exposed to you 32 times over about 3 weeks. I think it's 22 days. 32 exposures over 22 days before they make any kind of a decision. You can shorten that with higher levels of audience retention and more education content. You can shorten that to 7 days and maybe 12 touches. But generally, the averages that we see right now are 32 touches over 22 days. So you've got to be creating content consistently that is always providing them with tremendous amounts of value. When you do this, you're going to get a better response across the board. So if you're creating high value content that is, say, video content that you're publishing on a video platform like Vimeo or like YouTube, but then you're publicizing that content on your socials, now you're using an omnipresence approach, an omni-channel approach. And when you do that, you get a much better response across all of your social media. So creating content that goes in one place, written content on your blog, video content on Vimeo or YouTube, but then you take either a small snippet of that and you share it across your other socials, you create a reel or a story or a TikTok, and you start to share this across your other social platforms. It elevates your presence across your socials everywhere, and you end up getting a better response from your socials. You know, one of my programs, which is just about to relaunch, I have a brand new name for it that I can't even tell you because we're going through the IP on this new name. It teaches you, this program teaches you the start to finish of leveraging the power of social media to attract clients. I think I've mentioned my calendar, which is prouty.me. If you wanted to learn about that, if you're serious about using social media to attract clients, that's an amazing place for you to check out. And that's what happens when you use content across all of your socials, is that it elevates you and it elevates your position, and you're going to get a better response from all of those socials. Because, and this is the strongest point that I'm going to make, when you create good content, it activates your authority, it demonstrates your expertise, and it builds a tremendous amount of trust with your audience. Remember I said 10 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago, was when you create content, you should be doing so to demonstrate you can help someone by helping them with the expectation of nothing in return through your content, giving them a transformation and helping them. When you do that, it creates a difference between you and the people who are pretending to be you, and it allows you to develop authority. Because who's going to teach something without without the expectation of anything in return? Someone who's an authority, someone who's an expert, because they just can't help themselves by sharing that information, and then that builds a tremendous amount of trust. And those three things, expertise, authority, and trust. The acronym is EAT: expertise, authority, and trust. When you have those three things, people just open right up to you as the solution that they've been looking for. As an aside, part of the Google indexing system, the Google algorithm, if we want to talk about algorithms, is exploring your authority and your expertise and your trustworthiness. So EAT works very well in getting the humans to respond, but we can also get the machines to respond to us by building that level of expertise and that authority and that trustworthiness. I'm going to just break from the conversation about content because I do want to get to Joelle's question, which is, can newbie connect a $1,000 client in 2 weeks through LinkedIn if you post good content daily? Yes. If you're posting good content every single day on LinkedIn, here are the ingredients for landing a $1,000 client in 2 weeks on LinkedIn. The first ingredient is you must be connected with people who would be willing to exchange $1,000 with you for your service. Now, Joelle, I know what you do. I know people readily pay $1,000. So the first ingredient is you must be connected on LinkedIn with people who are going to see the content that you create, who are then inspired to reach out to you to learn more so that you can close that $1,000 sale. So step number one, make sure you're connecting with only your perfect prospects when you're doing your connections on LinkedIn. And you can safely make about 10 connection requests a day before LinkedIn starts to give you the sideways glance and say, hey, you're making too many requests. So step number one, you've got to get the right connections. Step number two, creating content that makes your connections read it and say, wow, this person knows about this and I need this, I should reach out to them. And the only way they're going to reach out to you is with the third ingredient, which is having a strong call to action. Your call to action doesn't need to be, here's a link to send me $1,000. Your call to action is, here's my calendar link if you'd like to learn more. You've heard me mention it maybe once or twice today. If you wanted to get on my calendar to learn about the programs that I have to attract clients to you, it's Prouty.me. My calendar link is super, super simple to remember. And so when I have a call to action anywhere, it's get on my calendar, very easy to find. It's mylastname.me, it's Prouty.me. That will get me on my calendar. So I was about you. And with you, in your situation, what you want to be doing is flooding your contacts with people who are your perfect clients, creating content that demonstrates to them that you know what you're doing and you understand the problems that you can solve, that you understand their problems and you can solve them, and then having a call to action, which generally is getting on your calendar. And then then you have to have a good sales process after that, which is something that I teach in my programs, which is that sales process. Once they get on your calendar, you've got to get them on the call, demonstrate that you can provide them with the service that you're providing. Now, again, I know what you do. I know you can do it, and I know you can do it for $1,000. I'm confident that you can get that client in the next 2 weeks if you follow those steps. Okay, great question, and thanks for asking that. Back to creating really great content, and this will help you as well, Joelle. When you create content that is of high quality, you're going to get better leads, because the better leads are going to consume this and going to realize that you're that sole source. You're that person that can provide them with the answers that they've been looking for. The smart leads can figure this out when they read your content. The not so smart leads just kind of keep scrolling, looking for the next thing to distract them. You don't want those people anyways. You want the smart people. So by creating really good content, and for me, that means you're writing long form content. You're creating content that's thousands of words long, because your good leads are going to consume that longer content, or you're going to make longer videos. Heck, this video is, by the time we're done, this video is going to be a half an hour long. That's longer than a lot of television shows, which are like 23 minutes after you take out commercials. I don't watch TV. That's a guess. So you're creating this longer form content, and you're creating this high quality content that's giving people something that they can start using right away. And by the way, hang out with me for just like the next, that will help you. Just hang out with me just for a few more minutes. I'll give you a framework so that you can start doing it right away. When you create this great content, the better leads are going to step towards you. And you're going to develop things like great brand awareness. You're going to develop very loyal fans. It's one of the things that I enjoy from creating so much great content. I've been able to get over 700 high quality subscribers on my YouTube channel simply by creating really good content. And I was able to do that in 6 months. It's like half the time that it takes a normal YouTube channel to do that. So I'm able to accelerate everything from brand awareness to developing loyal fans, to building a great business, just by always pushing out really good content. In the few minutes that we have left, I will share with you a content framework so that today, right now, as soon as we're done, you can create content. This will work if you do a live video. This will work if you do a written piece of content. You do even turns into an infographic if you want it. And depending on the platform that you're publishing the on, pick the one that's going to work best on that platform. But moreover, and here's the secret for you, pick the one that you're most comfortable doing. You don't like making videos? Write something down. Terrible at writing? Don't like doing videos? Create an infographic. Just do the one that's going to work for you, that you'll do consistently, as Leanne says, consistency over time. Here's a work for you called the PAS framework. P stands for problem, A stands for agitate, S stands for solution. The first paragraph that you write, or the first thing that you talk about, should be the problem that your prospect has, your perfect prospect. The A should agitate the situation just a little bit to let them know that you understand the pain that they're in having this problem. And then the S is the offer of a solution that you have that reverses that problem and turns it into a transformation for them. An example of this, and I'm just going to kind of do this off the top of my head. For me, the problem that my perfect prospects have is that they want to attract clients online. And they've been burned by the amateurs who don't teach them how to do that, but say they will. So the problem that they have, that I would say, is, a lot of entrepreneurs wish they could attract more clients online, and they thought that they were learning how to do it from other people, but they actually didn't get any results from those other trainings. And they are left feeling like the internet just doesn't work to build a business. So that's the problem. I just illustrated the problem. I'm going to agitate it a little bit. If you continue feeling that way, you are turning your back on a wealth of opportunity, because the internet is the most efficient way right now to attract clients to you, because everyone is on the internet. 3 billion people on Facebook, 800 million on LinkedIn, about 1 billion on Instagram alone. Your clients are there and they're looking for you. But if you're not present in front of them, they have no way of knowing that you have a solution for them. Okay, so I just did the problem, and then I agitated it a little bit. Now I start to bring in the solution. And that's exactly why I created my mentorship and training programs, to teach people just like you how to attract clients to them. And you can learn more about that by visiting Prouty.me to get on my calendar. So I just went through the PAS framework. I talked about the problem, attracting clients. I agitated it, saying, if you're not present online, you're missing out on this opportunity. And then the solution, which is mentorship training programs. Get on my calendar to learn more. And so you do that in your situation. Talk about the problem that your perfect client or your perfect prospect has, agitate it just a little bit, and then introduce the solution with a small call to action. And that, my friends, is going to get you creating the kind of content that separates you from the rest, creates expertise, authority, trustworthiness, and ultimately builds your business. Boy, I feel like I just fire hosed you for the last half hour just checking in the chat. Cicely says, I love the PAS framework. It works every time. And she's right. It does. Thank you so much for being with me here today. Hit that subscribe button if you want to get alerted every time I create videos or go live for things just like this. I do subscriber-only events where you as a subscriber get more direct access to me to learn more great stuff like this. I have some incredible workshops coming up. My new workshop, which is going to be coming soon, you'll hear about it first, how to get your first or next client. This is for you who are just starting out and you're looking to get that first or your next client. Leanne says PAS is my favorite. It calls out the ones that can be your best clients. Thank you, Leanne. I agree with that completely. Hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell for notifications. I will see you back here in 1 week's time, next Tuesday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern time here in the US. I'm going to hang out in the chat for the next 3 or 4 minutes if anybody has any last minute questions. Otherwise, shutting this stream down. Thanks so much for being here with me today.